Good morning. Welcome to a new week of Political Paula. And do I have a story for you today? It's actually a story that you're not going to hear much about on the news. In fact, I just heard about it. I had no idea what it was. I heard about it on Sunday. But it's important. And you all need to know about it because it affects every single one of us, all of us. And while we're being kept distracted by the everyday new allegations of sexual harassment against somebody, including our president, while we hear that he drinks 12 cans of Diet Coke a day and watches 8 hours of TV a day, and we're constantly hearing about his newest, most bizarre tweets. And then we're hearing about tax reform, and we're hearing about health care, which isn't going anywhere. Little something slipped their minds to let us know about. And yet it's very important. It's something called net neutrality. And believe me, I did not know what it was. My husband sort of knew, but I'm not even sure he knew. And my husband's job is the internet. What net neutrality is, it's a regulation. And I know a lot of people hate regulations, but this is actually a good one. And it was passed by the Obama administration, which of course automatically makes it a target for the Republicans and for Donald Trump in particular. And what it does is it makes sure that when you go onto the internet or when you pick up your cell phone, that you have the right, the access to call anyone you want, any business you want, to watch anything you want on the internet, to Google anything you want on the internet. Now, on Thursday, the Congress is going to be voting, and because it's a Republican-controlled Congress, they have the votes to repeal this regulation. And let me just explain in an easy term what repealing net neutrality will do to us. So you really like the mom and pop pizza store down the street, right? Or a couple miles away from you. And you call to order a pizza, and you get Domino's Pizza, may I help you? I didn't call Domino's Pizza. I called, Nico's Pizza a couple miles away. I want to get a pizza delivered. But see, what happened is your telephone provider, Verizon, AT&T, any provider, they have a deal with Domino's. And Domino's pays AT&T to make sure that when you call to order a pizza, your call gets rerouted to Domino's. Now, you're like, well, I'm sorry, I don't want Domino's, I want Nico's. Well, guess what? Your provider, AT&T or Verizon, can say to you, well, if you want to be able to call Nico's Pizza from your cell phone, you have to pay extra for that now. That's what repealing net neutrality is going to do. Your internet provider, say Comcast, oh, they're really into this. They love it. Comcast can actually stop you from watching my show on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Or they can make it really difficult to do so. Here's what happens when net neutrality goes away. There's something called a fast lane and a slow lane. Net neutrality stops your internet provider from building these lanes. Okay? If net neutrality is repealed on Thursday, as it is expected to be, you may find out that Facebook is in the slow lane. Or my show on YouTube is in the slow lane. And what you're going to do is Comcast is going to tell you, well, if you want to watch Political Paula on YouTube or you want to be on Facebook, you now have to pay for our social media package. You know how they sell TV packages, platinum, silver, bronze, whatever? You may have to go on to Comcast and say, well, I want to be on Facebook. I want to be on YouTube. Well, you're going to pay extra for that now. Or if you want to watch a certain show, say there's a show that is the same as mine, only different because it doesn't have me in it. You might have, oh, you want to watch Political Paula? You have to pay extra for that, or it's going to be really slow when you watch Political Paula. Now, make no mistake about this. I'm not getting any money. I'm not getting paid. Just like the lovely couple that runs a YouTube cooking show with millions of subscribers, they're making a living doing their YouTube show. They may lose their livelihood on Friday morning if this passes, because people are now going to have to pay extra to watch their show on YouTube. If their show isn't one of the ones that was negotiated with the internet provider, in other words, they have to pay the internet provider to put their show in the fast lane. Are you getting what I'm saying? This is the worst kind of legislation, because what it does is it eliminates the backbone of any business, any capitalist society, and it's competition. When you eliminate the competition, when I can only order a pizza from Domino's unless I pay AT&T or my phone provider more to be able to dial Nico's Pizza goes out of business. And Domino's wins. If you eliminate competition, and I've talked about this down at the bay at Buttonwood Beach over the summer, why do we have such poor quality television? Because we only have one provider available to us. And they don't have to do a good job because they don't care, because they get paid no matter what. I've talked about this. People at Buttonwood don't believe me. Everybody who owns a trailer at Buttonwood Beach pays Resorts Communications. You may not pay them $250 a summer, but you pay them. If you open up those little boxes at the end of your row, your trailer number is in there. It's just not hooked up. And the management at Buttonwood Beach, Deb Carter, did not just give you that hookup in your trailer as a present the year that Resorts Communication came into our park. Resorts Communications insisted that all 500 trailers be hooked up for potential television reception. And you all paid for it. And she can challenge me to the end of the earth, but you know how you paid for it? In that November pro rata bill that nobody gets an explanation for. You know, in that maintenance, or it's somewhere in there. It's not actually in there saying Resorts Communications, or back then it was Travelers Cable, because she doesn't itemize. We don't know where the money goes. They bunch it all into one thing. Maintenance, pool maintenance, salaries. But it's in there, trust me, because someone from Resorts Communication told me it's in there. So all of you who say, I don't pay for no TV at Buttonwood, you do pay for it. Or at least you did when they first came into the park and hooked every trailer up. You have a hookup on your trailer. And you paid for it. It wasn't a Merry Christmas from Deb Carter. And why do they do such a bad job? Why, when the cable goes out, can it take 4 days for them to come from New Jersey to Maryland to fix our cable, to fix our TV? Because what are we supposed to do? They know. We can't just call Comcast. Comcast doesn't come into our park. They're not allowed. Because nobody wants to pay for the best. No one wants to pay for Comcast television. So they know that they can take as long as they want to fix a problem. That if the TV goes out when the wind blows or when it rains, what are we going to do about it? They're the only game in town. And the same thing happened with the internet. Back when we had very bad internet with Bay Broadband, they were the only internet company that would come into our park, and they were lazy and they didn't care about doing a good job, because what were we going to do about it? We couldn't call Comcast and say we want Comcast internet at Buttonwood Beach because they didn't come into Buttonwood Beach. We have found that when there is no competition with health insurance companies, well, we're the only healthcare provider in your state. You don't have a choice. You have to use us. We can charge you anything we want. We can find all the loopholes to never pay one of your medical bills. We can charge you any deductible we want because You got nobody else to go to. Imagine if in your entire town there was only one doctor. Imagine that. And you found out that he was actually not a great doctor. He drank a little. He just wasn't a good doctor. What are you going to do? Are you going to get in the car and drive 3 hours to a different doctor? When there is no competition, there is no incentive to be the best. And this is what repealing net neutrality is going to do. CVS Pharmacy recently bought a health insurance company. Now, why would they do that? Why would a pharmacy buy a health insurance company? Guess why? Because if you are a customer for that health insurance company, guess what? You are going to be instructed and you are going to save money as long as you use CVS Pharmacy for your prescriptions. You see how that's working? See, we got Walgreens now, we got Rite Aid, we've got your mom and pop pharmacies that some people prefer to go to because they've been going there their whole lives. They trust them. They're close, they can walk, or these pharmacies even deliver medications. Well, guess what? If you have this health insurance company, you will no longer be able to go to your mom and pop pharmacy or to the Walgreens or the Rite Aid. You've got to use CVS in order to get the best price for your prescriptions. So by buying this health insurance company, CVS is trying to put out of business its competition. Just like Domino's Pizza by paying AT&T to reroute all people who call a pizza shop to Domino's or to Pizza Hut. They are trying to eliminate the small mom and pop pizza places that we all love. I know I get my pizza delivered from a small mom and pop, both here and at the Bay. We love Cecilton Pizza. And here in Lancaster, we do not order Domino's and we don't order Pizza Hut because, to be very honest with you, they suck. I am a Pat's Pizza girl all the way. That's where I get my pizza from in the winter. And in Buttonwood, I get my pizza from Cecilton. Now imagine I go to call Cecilton Pizza to order my beautiful pepperoni with extra cheese, light on the sauce pizza, and I get rerouted to a Pizza Hut 30 miles away in Delaware. Why would I get that? First of all, I have to drive 30 miles to pick it up because they won't deliver to Buttonwood. Cecilton will, by the way. Cecilton Pizza. You Buttonwood guys, you know what I'm talking about. It's some good pizza. But what if I'm at the Bay with no car and I want a pizza and I call Cecilton Pizza and I get Pizza Hut in Middletown, Delaware? And if I try again and I get Verizon going, well, if you'd like to call Cecilton Pizza, you have to pay extra for that. Really? Really? If this is what you want, then you know what? Ignore my show today. But what concerns me the most is that this site has had 22 million comments about this net neutrality. And the first time I heard about it was on Sunday on CBS on the morning news. And I'm wondering why, when I turn on my Facebook page, why this is not trending. Why I have not seen anything on Facebook about it. And I have to ask myself, does Facebook have some kind of a deal now? Because we all know that Facebook's kind of been acting a little weird lately. I know with my page, Political Paula, every single day I get urged to boost my page by paying Facebook money to advertise my page. $5 a month, $30 a month. How many people do you want to reach? Just pay us and we'll get your show promoted. What happened to free and always will be? So now I have to ask myself, and you should be asking yourselves, because it's also free to open up a YouTube channel and a Twitter account. Are these people now saying, well, wait a minute, maybe we should start charging people who use Facebook, charging people who watch YouTube a lot or post a lot of stuff on YouTube? Maybe they should be paying us, or their viewers should be paying us if they want to watch this content. I think it's a very scary situation. And what it sounds like to me is that I just heard about it, and it might be too late to do anything about it, because it sounds like it's a done deal, because the Republicans are all in. The Republicans who say less government, right? And yet that now we are in a situation where that we're going to wake up Thursday and we're all going to be together here on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube. And Friday morning we might wake up and some of us will be gone. Some of us will be in the midst of having to write a check, an extra check to our internet provider in order to be together here on Facebook or on Twitter or on YouTube. I'd like to know which shows on YouTube are going to be in the slow lane and which in the fast lane, and how they're going to decide that. Who's going to get thrown under the bus? And you know, I have an interesting feeling on this. I think the most popular shows on YouTube, which means I'm not in trouble because my YouTube channel is a little waning right now. I don't have all that many subscribers. But YouTube channels who have millions of subscribers, they're probably the ones that the internet companies want to make some money off of. And again, don't blame the person whose show it is or whose blog page it is. Blame the internet providers, because believe me, none of us are going to get paid. No one's going to send me a check because you have to pay Comcast to watch my show. I'm not getting a dime. And nobody else is either. Your content, the people who run your shows that you enjoy, we're not getting paid. Your internet provider, your telephone provider, they're the ones who are going to be getting paid. And your small mom and pops who can't afford to pay AT&T, they can't afford to pay Comcast to show their advertisements on the internet or to allow you to call them to order a pizza, they're going to suffer. They're going to suffer. So I want you all to look up net neutrality today. Be familiar with it, because you're going to hear a lot about it when it's passed and you didn't even know it was coming. You're going to find out when you go to watch your favorite YouTube channel and it's not there anymore. You're going to find out when you pick up the phone to call for a pizza and you're only allowed to order from Domino's or Pizza Hut or Papa John's. You're not allowed to call Nico's on your phone that you pay for anymore. I'm not a fan of rules, but net neutrality is a rule that was necessary to keep the playing field fair for every business, large or small. It's supposed to keep a CVS from trying to manipulate the pharmacy market by buying an insurance company to wipe out its competition. Net neutrality was put in place to stop a Pizza Hut from forcing customers to only order pizza from Pizza Hut because they're not allowed to call any other pizza place from their phone provider. Every business, small or large, has the right to have the opportunity to grow and thrive because of the hard work of the people who established the business. We do not need the federal government coming in and putting these people out of business. That's the show for today. There may actually be a second show today. I'm not sure yet. But of course, as always, I will let you know. There will definitely be a show tomorrow. In the meantime, love shows and grows. You know how much Political Paula loves you and how much I love my show. I certainly don't want the Republican Congress to take it away from me and from all of you who actually are the backbone of this show. I'm the neck, kind of. Well, I'm the head. You guys are the neck. You make this show work, and I don't want to lose any of you because of a vote on Thursday. I hope to see you all for the rest of the week, including Friday morning. But in the meantime, love shows and grows. I'll see you tomorrow right here, 10 a.m. as always. Political Paula for now is out.